Hello, dear listeners. I think it goes without saying that we could all use some extra distraction today, so I hope that in some way I can help contribute to that with this outtake special. We will be returning come next week, but we'll talk more about that later. And it'll actually be related to our hero's call to action, so we'll save that for the end as well. For now, just enjoy the silly, goofy tangents and try really hard not to think about the real world in the midst of this. Most of these are from months before we knew what was coming. So, okay, no, I'm going to stop thinking about it. Just enjoy the outtakes. Bye.
Please insert the crazy ex-girlfriend monologue about football here.
Oh, I was going to insert the Brendan Lee Mulligan monologue about it.
Both is good.
Editor Jazz here. Weirdly enough, I could not find the crazy ex-girlfriend bit, but I did find the Brendan Lee Mulligan bit, so here you go.
Dandy, I'll be honest with you. I clicked a link last night and ended up spending about 5 hours reading articles on how bad football is for the body. I tried to get up doing the show today based on my moral revulsion, but the producer said I had to come in.
We see all that, but what can we expect to see from the game? That's what our viewers want to know.
Brutality, Dandy, what else? These boys, so young, don't yet realize the terrible toll this game will take on their minds, their bodies, and their futures.
Well, that's a bit of an overstatement there,
Is
Chuck.
it?
I think, look, we all
I don't think
acknowledge
so.
we all acknowledge that college football is a rough sport, but it's one with a proud history.
Says you.
Yeah, sure. Ohio State and Michigan have played each other for over 100 years.
We've been doing all sorts of horrible things for more than 100 years. American history is a labyrinth of nightmares.
Not a fair
I
parallel.
wanted to show you a piece of footage. This is a clip from the movie Concussion.
Chuck, we certainly don't have the rights to show that at
I
all.
don't care. Movie blows this whole thing wide open. Did people just not see this? Will Smith was in it. I'm awake and I'm not going back to sleep.
I just really love that bit. Carry on. Also, should we address the perfect blue in the room?
So I've never seen Perfect Blue, but
I meant to watch it before we got to this, but unfortunately didn't have the time to. It is on archive.org though, so I probably will watch it at some point soon.
yeah, at one point it was doing like a re-release in cinemas recently. I just didn't get around to it, but here's my perspective on it. There's only so much you can do with the story of an artist destroying themselves in search of perfection without it repeating, you know?
Yeah, and also I just feel like, just from what little I do know about Perfect Blue, there probably are enough differences that, and even if there are influences on like shots or just certain things happening, I mean, that's just kind of what filmmakers do.
Yeah. I mean, if people have beef with this movie because of that, I'm not gonna tell them not to feel angry about that. Like, valid enough, but like no, there doesn't all have to be just it's a Kimba the White Lion thing.
Yeah, or a Paprika versus Inception thing. Like, I've seen both Paprika and Inception, and while, yes, there's definitely some similarities, I do feel like each film has its own identity.
Yep.
Like, to me, it's like a holy shit, 2 cakes situation.
Yes, exactly.
And there was one more. Hang on. There was something else. Why am I mean, I guess the fairy tale of it all, but I know that wasn't it. But yes, Barbara Hershey being a stage mom was definitely one of them, and as was Sebastian Stan. I thought I had written it down. I am very embarrassed by that. Oh well, that's going to be part of the outtakes too now. Woohoo. But, alright. But yeah, so what I love...
Do you remember the Cut for Time SNL sketch about the theater kids waiting for the cast list to go up?
No, actually, I don't think I've ever seen that one. I know.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you, because there's a moment where the director pulls up a couple of kids who are dating and is like, have you two done it? And they go through a bit about how they haven't. And he's like, your homework is to bang each other's brains out before Hell Week, and I'll know by how you carry yourselves.
Oh my god.
That's exactly the energy that I would expect from Thomas.
I absolutely see it. I see it. Oh God. Oh God. As a human being and a former educator, oh God. I mean, I'm looking forward to the sketch, but oh lordy loo.
Yeah.
But okay, do we have any further thoughts about the movie itself or just its connections to Swan Lake? And they use that in The Swan Princess. Go figure.
No, they don't use that in The Swan Princess.
Doesn't he accidentally shoot her?
No.
Am I misremembering that? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you're misremembering it. Do it now.
It's alright.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance like this. Thank you so much, and you two take care and have fun, all right?
Alright. We're sorry. Bye.
Oh, I'm sorry for my computer misbehaving. I'll get back to it another time, and hopefully things will be better by then, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. Bye.
Take care.
Alright, do you want to just start from the top?
Yeah, let's start from the top.
Oh, God. No, there's vacuum now. It's fine.
What a fucking mess.
What a mess indeed. Anyway. Woohoo. Beth, you got anything?
I don't exist.
Do you have anything that's not related to you you'd like to plug then? Because you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, no.
Fair enough. That's valid. I'll put my plugs at the end then.
And also 5 characters in search of an exit, as we said.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Obsolete Man. It's one of Burgess Meredith's finest performances, opposite one of Fritz Weaver's finest performances. You may not know Fritz Weaver by name. If you watch enough Twilight Zone episodes, you're like, oh, he's in this one. Hell yeah. Burgess Meredith, he was Mickey, the Rocky's manager in the Rocky movies. He was also
Penguin
in the
Yeah, I was gonna
1960s
say.
Batman TV show. And everybody should know him from one of those two things. He plays cranky old men really well, but in The Obsolete Man, he's playing somebody who is just it's not this cranky old jerk that we're used to seeing. He's a man who has been told by society that there is not a place for him anymore. He lives under a dictatorship that will declare people obsolete, and then you have 48 hours to put your affairs in order because the state is going to kill you. And his thing is, you get to request how you die. He's like, all right, I want my executioner to meet me. We will discuss the details of how I'm going to die privately. And then I would like my death to be televised. And so they install TV cameras in the living room of his apartment. And he's sitting there, and Fritz Weaver shows up because he wants to gloat a little bit about how society is finally getting rid of this former librarian who's useless because we have no more libraries. And then
He loves being in episodes about libraries, huh?
Yeah, by the way, my doors are locked. Neither of us is getting out of here. I asked for the cameras so that you can demonstrate how a loyal servant of the state is absolutely brave and steadfast. Because after all, the state's what matters, not the individual, right?
Yeah, the doors are locked, and they're like, and there's a bomb. This room is going to explode in like an hour. So, you know.
And he just spends the hour quietly reading a book that he hid away so that the purges couldn't get rid of it, while Fritz Weaver, who has been talking a big game about how he's a loyal servant of the state and everything works exactly the way that it's supposed to, and everything that happens that it's supposed to, is becoming more and more panicked and out of control and desperate to get out.
Well, he loves episodes where he gets to read for a long time.
And this time he didn't have to worry about the glasses.
No,
thank God.
or his
Thank
eyes
God.
falling out.
That episode,
Climbing up at last.
I've seen him in 3 things: Rocky, Batman, and Timing Up at Last. They do not resemble the same person. He's
Oh no,
like
the guy's raised
a character actor's character actor.
Well, if I were to recommend a Twilight Zone episode, I would go with Mirror Image. That was actually the episode that inspired Jordan Peele into writing Us.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
yeah, that makes sense.
My favorite, similar to this one, because it's about person who's very kind to children. I love Pitch for the Angels, which is
Yes.
sort of the first
So good.
episode.
So good.
Up there? Yes, Mr. Cookman, you made it.
I actually am fond of. This is a very early episode of Twilight Zone, The Lonely. I don't know if you guys recall that one.
Your taste is exquisite.
Thank you. I just feel unsurprising to anybody who knows my tastes. I just feel very bad for Alicia.
Isn't that one where, like, the guy is up in space in solitary confinement with a robot?
Yes. Alicia is a wonderful robot character, and it breaks my heart every time at the end.
Yeah.
And where is everybody, for that matter?
Also a great
Yeah.
one. The star of that one, we only recently lost him, by the way.
Oh wow! And it's on the Universal
week or two
backlot, so
ago.
you can point at it and go, "Hey, it's Hill Valley." I know you don't like talking about piracy on this show. You could cut it if you want, but they don't
It's
have.
not that I don't like it, I just don't. It's just one of those things that I don't want anyone else to get in trouble for.
I'm not gonna. And also, there ain't Disney Plus in the country I live in, so there was nothing
No,
else
I know.
could have possibly done.
I know.
So I had to watch this through illicit means. I had no other choice. And possibly because of your reason about it looking like it was filmed on a potato, I watched the version that was uploaded to this website was an AI up-converted one. And like it was so weird. There kept being points where like 3 letters in the background were clearer than the stuff in the foreground. And like there was a point where there was a faraway shot of Schlatt's and it tried to make his face perfectly clear, which it shouldn't have been when he was that far away. He looked like a horrible demon monster.
Yeah, I was gonna say. That sounds like a fever dream.
Yeah, no, I had to like try to unfocus my eyes and not pay too much attention to it, or it literally felt like I took a hallucinogen or something about it.
I mean, I watched it, so I watched it on Disney Plus because I am a corporate shill, I guess. So.
Well, look, piracy is not an idea we promote in my country, but you're not in my country.
Exactly.
Are you?
Exactly.
Did you
I'm
pronounce it
in America.
piracy?
We are good and
Piracy.
legal. Whatever.
No, but I should.
Conspiracy.
The thing that, but I was like, okay.
Did we go to camp together?
Someone
I
you
went to
know
camp
could be a
in-
Rebecca.
Yeah.
No, I went to Camp Echo Lake.
By
Lake George.
Because I was about to say, I think the 3 of us are not that far apart in region.
No, I'm sure, like, and I had friends that went to literally every camp from, like, Maine to, like, every... So I probably knew it. Listen, and Jazz, you can hang up for 5 minutes. Let's figure out the Jewish geography of the 3 Jews on this pod.
Well, so I'm from North Jersey.
Yeah,
I was from
the whole
Philly.
family's from Jersey.
Yeah, okay. Then did you...
So wait,
Well,
why do we need a quote unquote motherland when we have Jersey and New York?
Exactly. Why?
My birthright is going to Long Island.
Yeah, Jazz is from Long Island. Wait, we could have.
Wait a minute, and that's where Jazz is from.
Yes, it is.
We could have recorded this one in person if I didn't live in
Well, no, I don't currently
world.
live. I don't currently live in Long Island. I moved.
No, Jazz lives in Florida.
Unfortunately.
Which is where the Jews go in the winter.
That's true. That's where
It's all
where they wanted to
connected, man.
retire to. That's
No,
where.
I say that because that's literally where I am right now.
Yeah,
that is
also
My
true.
folks' house in the winter.
Mhm.
Which brings me back to parents.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I know. The rhetorical device of you didn't even blank, did you? It's like trying to get Shakespeare fans to pronounce towns from Massachusetts. They're gonna get it right, and that ruins the whole fun of it.
But yeah.
I want to hear somebody say Cochituate as Cochuati.
Okay.
Well, actually, even the Shakespeare people do kind of mess up Cochituate sometimes because Cochituate is an indigenous word.
Fair enough. But
I was gonna say this is Cat Harpin versus Catharpin all over again, which is the Virginia equivalent.
Anyway, but no, Callie, it is
we have Nacogdoches, which is a real city.
Sure.
But we are not there yet. We have to have some form of structure. If we don't, we'll die.
Yes. So actually,
we are like sharks. Men. We are like sharks. We must keep
anyway,
swimming.
And the statute of limitations on this, I think, has passed. I took the DVD, I think, from the library without checking it out because I was a little rebel at the time. I gave it back. Everything I have ever taken from the library, legally or not, I have given back to the library.
fair enough. Support your local libraries, kids.
Is that just the film nerd version of playing your DS after being sent to bed and having to close it when you think you hear your parents walking by?
Potentially. I also did the bookworm version of it, of reading a book with way too little light in my bedroom.
Oh yeah, I had a giant star light that I slept with through most of my childhood, and that gave off enough ambient light that I could read by it. I have definitely ruined my eyesight forever and always by doing that. But
Good news, kids. It doesn't work that way.
And now it's even worse because now I have the phone that's pouring its ghastly little blue light onto me.
we love the cursed object that lives in our pockets. But yeah, so Jazz, again, because you are of the generation where that is what the queer alternative teens did.
This movie is also not queer enough for it.
Okay, but actually, no. Jazz and I were of the repo generation. Let's get it fucking straight.
You guys were not the repo generation. Repo came out in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say I was repo because that is
right.
The first time I watched repo.
Still.
The first time I watched repo, I was in middle school because my friend's older brother, who was also in high school, made her see it, and I watched it because of her.
You're a cusper at best. Rocky Horror was definitely more part of my high school experience than Repo, though it was very much overlapping.
That Venn diagram is like this.
Yes.
Y'all are completely ignoring Rent was in the middle of that shit.
Oh, Rent holds a much different place in my heart than Rocky Horror and Repo.
Repo and Rocky Horror are both like the fucking deep fried Twinkie of it all.
Yes.
Rent, you can at least pretend has a little bit of health to it. Rent is like, how do I put this without being a complete and utter jackass? Rent is like Chipotle.
Oh.
Before Chipotle had its whole bullshit happen, where it was still mostly considered the healthy alternative.
Do you have
but
any idea how little that
as we've moved on, we've discovered that it's got some concerns. I'm not saying that there are some songs in there that are the equivalent of getting E. coli. I'm just saying.
Wow. Okay.
The redheads are going to come for you.
My inner 15-year-old is going to come for you one day.
My inner 15-year-old.
Anyway.
Bring it.
So, but anyway.
Are we booting River yet?
No.
Darn, no kidding. I love River, you know that.
River and I lead the Wall Dwellers. You're never getting
I built the wall at this point.
Yeah, basically.
I'm
We
joking,
really
Eddie.
adopted the Wall. We were born in the Wall, molded by it.
Okay, babe. Anyway, but the good news.
Oh my god, I missed memeing so much.
I know.
Jasmine, I'm so sorry for your editing. You let the three loudmouths on the same podcast.
I know. It's okay. I'll
We're
live.
trying.
We're having fun.
Oh, one season with 20 episodes?
I miss the days of yore.
Man, I missed that.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Oh no, I'm still crying about Dead Boys, Detective. What are you talking about?
The Acolyte. Pick one. Pick a
What
show.
are you talking about?
I'm crying. I'm still crying about Julie and the Phantoms and Lockwood and Co.
Valid.
Pick a show.
First kill, R.I.P.
We're talking about all of it.
Anyway. Willow, indeed. Willow, Acolyte, Mother.
Not first kill.
Anyway, children.
Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah,
Maps for
but
executives.
Kyle's video, like many of his videos, made me love it even more.
He's gonna be so upset about how many nice things we're saying about him.
I know. How dare we? We're such terrible friends. No, wait, hold on.
We're so mean.
Anyway.
We're so mean for saying nice things.
Yeah,
as the Canadian in the room, I do have to get a small Bare Naked Ladies excerpt out of the way. Because for those of you who didn't know, the Bare Naked Ladies are Canadian. And as one knows, Canada takes care of its own. AKA, we have a wall literally required to play a certain percentage of Canadian artists on the radio every day. I think it's like 30%. Like, it has to either be performed or produced by a Canadian, which is why acts that get big in Canada get really big in Canada, and sometimes they escape over the border. Anyway, point is that the Bare Naked Ladies have not gone away. They're like still a band. And my first experience with them is not this 1 week, which is like arguably their big hit, or like If I Had $1 Million, which is also their very big hit. But it is because they did a children's album of songs for children that is very silly, goofy, and it has this song called The Crazy Alphabet, which is basically doing the alphabet song, but doing like different words for the letters that you would associate it with. Like they do one where it's like Q, cat, what? And it's like, oh, it's a type of shrub. And it's very silly, goofy. But that album is very good. It's called Snack Time. It's very silly, goofy. If you have little kids, highly recommend. But 1 week is still a banger of a song. And also, if you have the opportunity, you should listen to It's Ben by Neil Sigria. As part of his Mouth Moods album, he did a remix of it. That is insane. It is, I think that's not the YMCA set to Time from Hans Zimmer. I forget what It's Ben is mixed with, but it's mixed with something and it's insane. Highly recommend Mouth Moods. It's very silly. It used to be a train station, had a fire occur in it, and then it got rebuilt as a high school.
Impressive.
You want to get haunted? Because that's how you get haunted. Idiocy.
Yeah, we're gonna get into the politics of this here movie. We gotta put a pin in it. We gotta get there.
Fair enough. Callie, you have not had much of a chance to say anything.
Tell us to shut up. We're jumping all over the place again. Jasmine, sorry to your editing.
I won't make my joke prediction. I won't do. Oh, hang on. I'll cut it for everybody. Hang on.
Have me a kitty. Have me a kitty. Hello, popcorn. Apparently she's been having arthritis, poor baby. Oh no.
Sorry, I had to share with you.
We're so you.
Sam got to see her last night too.
And also help me figure out what the fuck the title's gonna be of this one.
The arthritic cat gets thrown at Dracula.
I'm debating if we keep that in, to be honest. It might be an outtake. We'll see. But
I mean, it was a joke anyway.
Unless we make a reference to that one Body M song I keep referring to. And Dracula be disco dancing.
The squeaky joint defeats Dracula.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll figure it out.
I did mention my squeaky joints.
You did mention your squeaky joints, yes. Yeah. Final thoughts? Anyway.
Oh, buddy.
Anyway, I think that's enough of this nonsense.
Yep. In the meantime,
as somebody who, not me specifically, but my friend, every time my friend had a guidance counselor, they mysteriously disappeared. Like they quit or they got fired. I had at least one of them die on me.
I mean, River, this sounds like some turf wizard bullshit.
Yeah. I don't like it.
River?
I went to an American public high school. I don't know what to tell you. I also had, like, 1 year I went through, like, 4 science teachers my senior year because, like, the first one I think may have had a nervous breakdown and left, and then we went through, like, 3 substitutes before we settled on one.
River, I think your high school might just have sucked.
Yeah.
Oh, fully. I mean, this is the same school system that in middle school someone set a trash can on fire, and the only reason we knew it wasn't a fire drill is because no one tells you what to do when there's a fire that happens at lunch.
River, were you a troubled kid?
No, I went to an underfunded public school in a mostly Latine area.
Okay, so to continue jumping around,
but most of my thoughts about him are later in the movie, and I'm trying to give this thing some semblance of structure so we don't lose our entire goddamn minds. I have to keep this train on the rails, otherwise I will be off in the hinterlands, digging up worms and raising sheep. So I'm going to try and keep this.
Are there sheep?
I'm going to keep this thing on some form of a track so that I don't lose my goddamn mind. We're not there yet. I have thoughts about that. We're not there yet.
River has to keep this car on the rails.
The thing. Did anyone actually dissect frogs?
Yeah. No. There was pig heart dissection, but I hid in the corner because you cannot make me. Absolutely not. I am disgusted. No.
I mean, I had to dissect baby pigs. I had to dissect baby pigs in high school, and then I had to dissect cats in college for an anatomy class. Yeah, I did not come out of.
Were you trying to go to med school?
No, it was an anatomy class for non-majors.
I had to go to
for non-majors. They made you do cats. Typically, only majors do cats. Ask me how I know.
I was having a panic attack just having to dissect little, like, I think it was grasshoppers. I can't remember.
Yeah, they like sent forms home and were like, hey, your kids are gonna be dissecting things. Please sign off if you want to like exclude them for whatever reason. The thing that got to me more than like the fact that it was a dead creature was the chemical smells. Formaldehyde, it sucks, and I get nauseous when there's fresh paint fumes. Source, they're currently repainting my apartment building, and so half my apartment reeks of fresh paint, and it's so bad. I'm suffering.
Yeah, no, typically only majors do cats. I'm genuinely shooketh.
Yeah.
The 90s were a time. The 90s were a time.
A time where apparently students could be golfing and hitting balls into the sports arena while they're also having soccer practice and track practice, and also at other points there's fucking archery.
Yeah, I wanted to know what high school had money for archery.
Oh, mine.
What?
Mine did.
What? I didn't get archery until at least university.
Yeah, no, we had an archery unit in gym class.
I
went to a bougie high school.
I am mediocre at archery. I fucking wish.
I sucked at it too. Are you kidding me? But yeah, no, a bougier high school can in fact have archery, and this is clearly a bougie-ass high school. Honestly, Callie, I'm surprised I haven't heard more about Patrick from you.
Oh, we're getting there, bestie!
Patrick feels very Okay.
I don't know what's happening here, but
Petruchio is the character from the Taming of the Shrew.
The abuser whose ass we all wish to
suck.
Fuck that shit!
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He wishes he could be as good as his 90s high school movie variant.
That's a sad take of affairs.
But because we're like standing at the bottom of the stairwell shooting up, and it's a mostly spiral staircase, for some reason this high school is not 2 stories. I've never known a high school to be taller than 2 stories. Maybe 3.
I think ours was 4.
Yeah. So, but like the shot up from the staircase, chef's kiss, perfection. Love everything about it.
I'm starting to realize, River, you and I had very different high school experiences.
I went to a high school with 28 kids in the graduating class. I'm not the person to fucking talk to about this movie.
530.
Over 1,000.
28.
Yeah. So again, I've already talked about the fact that, like, fucking Source, I've only seen the 92 Newsies 4 or 5 times in total, but I can quote that movie forwards, backwards, and sideways because it was such a bad hyperfixation. But watching this movie is so...
It's when we start liking Patrick, but it's also, like, the passage of time in this movie is a little weird, because, like, it's not 100% clear how much time has passed from the start of the movie to the end of the movie. It could be as little as a month, I think.
If I were being generous, I would say it's about a semester.
Yeah.
But that is if I'm being generous.
Yeah, I mean, we see Bianca going around in a mini skirt and no sweater, and the windows open.
So it's probably April, May to June.
Yeah, so not a lot of time.
Keep in mind, Kat does get, like, the acceptance letter, like, 15 minutes into the movie, so...
Yeah,
that gives us at least a rough timeline of it.
I would say, like, second to last week in May to about the second week in June, which is typically when prom happens.
We could have easily done this, like, as summer vacation was going to start.
Wait. Prom doesn't occur in June? What are you talking about?
It depends on what school you go to.
It depends on where you are. Obviously, in Texas, you could not do that because you died.
Bad frame of reference for this, Callie. You're in Texas. Texas starts school in August.
Yeah, prom is in March.
No.
Hey,
prom is in May.
Absolutely not. My prom was in May.
What?
Yeah,
I can tell you exactly what.
Yeah, my prom was in May and graduation was the first Friday of June.
Our graduation was still the first Friday.
Graduation was the second Friday of June because my graduation was on my birthday. My birthday is typically the second Friday. I can tell you
our graduation was right after prom.
I can tell you exactly when my prom was because I have it on my Instagram. The benefits of time. There it is. Anyway, prom is in late April.
We're on the train to Tangent Town.
Yes.
Let's reroute.
My prom was in late April. Anyway, so shout out to David Krumholtz being like, yeah, no, the fucking, or that was, I think it was like the director who was like, it makes him dangerous.
And I just sounded like River. That's weird.
My yearbook quote was from Once Upon a Time.
I did not get a yearbook quote. They didn't give us those.
Yeah, neither did I. Thank God. Not just me. I thought that was a myth.
I don't think I got one. I don't remember. Which one did you do, Sam?
The one from the Cinderella episode about there being no fairy godmothers, so you have to do stuff for yourself.
Fair enough.
It's a decent, yeah, it's a good one. I like it.
No, I understand. You have wackadoo parents.
Please. Bring back the shut your brain off film.
Shut up. I am not doing that Robert Downey Jr. Doom discourse on this here podcast. I'm not paid. You can't make me. Anyway.
My baby!
Absolute kitty! Hello, little guy. Hello, little guy. So
gender neutral.
That also, I don't want to imagine the version of this movie where the other two options for Patrick were considered.
Oh.
I don't want to imagine the universe. At least one of them was Ashton Kutcher.
Oh.
God.
I don't want to live in that universe.
Nope.
I don't want to live in that universe, bestie. We live in the best. In this particular instance, we live in the best timeline.
Like I said, shit like that is why I do not believe this is the worst timeline. It might be the stupidest timeline, but it's not the worst one.
As my friend remarked, this is a deeply unserious timeline, but it is not like the worst timeline. Hang on, I need to find the other because the other option is also very, very stupid. Please hold while I vamp.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh Hartnett. That's why. That was the other option. Josh Hartnett and Ashton Kutcher were the other options for Patrick.
Josh would not have been bad. Josh would not have been bad. I would not have hated
Josh would not have been bad, but he would not have brought the same level. Like, I don't think I would have bought Josh Hartnett's version of the I spent the last year sleeping on my grandfather's couch while he was ill.
He doesn't have the boyish charm or the sincerity.
Yeah, I also don't think
they're both much. They're softer. They're both much softer than Heath.
I'm with the director.
They are squishy, immature baby boys.
Yeah, I'm with the director. Heath Ledger was the correct option, and that accent does do a bit of heavy lifting.
The accent is smooth. The accent is yes. The accent is correct. The accent is the only option.
The accent is so thick that you are kind of amazed that he is the Joker because of how well it's hidden in that movie. Very much handshake Sarah. I think Bianca and Sarah from Labyrinth would be great drinking buddies.
Ooh.
Oh God.
They're both coping with the disappearance of a mother in wildly different fashions, but I think they'd get along great. They both have that bit of childish immaturity that they're working through, and I think that like by the end of this movie, Bianca, and end of this movie, Sarah, are gonna be good lunch buddies. They're the people who meet on the first week in college and actually start to bond.
They both got kind of taken in by pompous douchebags in their own way.
Do not put Jareth on the level of Joey. Don't do that to my Bowie.
I would never put them on the level. They're not on the level, but
both of them want to be chosen. Both of them want to be someone's first choice. Because Sarah is dealing with the whole, second, now becoming the eldest child of a baby, and the baby's always going to get picked first. The new wife is going to get picked after the baby, and then her. And that is her conflict she has to work through the process of the movie, is realizing that is not always, the worst thing on planet Earth. Bianca, meanwhile, is dealing with the whole, mom left and didn't take the kids. And clearly whatever custody arrangement they have worked out since the leaving, because it's been implied that it's been a hot minute, whatever custody arrangement they have worked out means mom's dropped no contact. She might as well be dead. So here is, I have half a soapbox, and I will admit that this is not fully formed, and this is, off the cuff, shooting from the hip. I think he's also an army brat. I think he and Cameron are both army brats. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the reason.
That's so funny if it is true. He really should be more of a dream.
So he's not really acting.
He is not a military.
Although I know how to make Callie absolutely fall in love with Joseph Gordon-Levitt if it hasn't already happened, and it comes down to 2 words: Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but
You're not wrong, Sam. Callie would have been a Jim Hawkins girly, and I haven't seen Treasure Planet yet either, but even I know that.
Oh, he is the voice of Jim, that's right.
I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I will be on that episode. I was a Jim Hawkins girly, and all I had was the teaser trailer of him skateboarding through the canyon on that dumb fucking hoverboard skateboard.
To that fucking song.
The song wasn't even in it. It was just a piece of the score. There was just an ad for that movie on one of the DVDs I frequented. I think it might have been Lilo. But
of course it was.
It was
Anyway,
hang on, hold on. I need to make sure the director's actually a dude. His name is
he, him pronouns in description.
His name is Gil Judding. He is a dude. His name is Gil Judding. He directed the Ellen sitcom series.
Oh, wow.
He also directed Casey Undercover, which has its moments. As somebody who has seen at least 2 episodes of it. A Teen Nick series. He did the TV show version of 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, that's nice, at least.
Beauty in the Briefcase.
The Greek, the college...
Oh, yeah, I know that one. It was on formerly ABC Family.
My Fake Fiance.
Kyle XY,
8 Simple Rules.
I'm not willing.
I think this is definitely a male director does female.
Yeah, I'm not willing to say.
Some of these look like Hallmark movies, and Hallmark movies are a very specific kind of female gaze.
Again, I'm not willing to say, but it would not surprise me. You can cut that.
I plan to. It's fine. But no.
Okay, so Joseph Gordon-Levitt was not a military brat. However, one of the writers, Karen McCullough, was. She was born in the Philippines. Her dad was in the Navy.
Callie, I'm gonna end your life in one simple concept. Heath Ledger doing I Never Planned on Someone Like You.
Callie has left the podcast.
Goodbye, I have left this world. I have yeeted myself out of this existence into oblivion, into space.
Listen, I'm not saying I wanted Heath Ledger stunt casted as Jack Kelly at least once. I am saying that it might have made me realize I was queer sooner.
That's valid. But
throw me off a building.
Also, brief interlude for the fucking mess that is the detention scene. Medical weed was legalized in Washington State in 1998, recreational use wasn't legalized until 2012, which is why the pot joke is only like that, not like that.
Although never mind, that's a soapbox. That's that.
We don't have a sister that needs to date, so he gets paid to take us out.
I have one of those.
Your sister also sucks, so
fuck. Wrong order.
Fun fact, that wasn't the original idea. The original song was the one that they couldn't use because it was used in Scream 2.
You haven't seen Scream 2 yet. Okay.
Which one?
I'm gonna be
What?
Okay, no.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've done 1, 2, 4.
I haven't. So, Sam, basically,
Callie, this isn't about
Sidney
you.
Prescott's college boyfriend sings "I Think I Love You" in the cafeteria in front of God and everybody. And of course, unfortunately, by the end, her trust issues gets him killed. It is super tragic. It hurts me deeply. I think I love you. So what am I so afraid of? You don't know that one, really?
Yeah, I don't know that song, and I don't care about Scream until you make me watch it for my podcast.
Honestly, I think we were better off for it.
Nope.
And also, according to the actress who plays Bianca, it was Julia Stiles' idea to do the Frankie Valli song.
Probably makes it more timeless to have a classic surrounded by the 90s-est of 90s songs.
Put a pin in it. I got like a fanficky head thought about that as well. Not there yet.
My parents kept telling me not to do that. They kept saying, "You're not the parent. Don't parent your brother."
Yeah, no, like literally our pediatrician even said when you become a mother, you're going to know exactly what to do. And I took that as a point of pride at the age of 8.
Oh no!
Yikes! We're not going to open that can of worms.
Okay, we gotta turn the train away from tangents and trauma town.
Y'all know my shit with my sister. That's a whole that's a whole episode unto itself of therapy podcast.
God, I can't imagine going to my school in the 90s and having to deal with the mail processes of trying to mail my tuition back.
In the 90s, could your parent consent to send you to college without checking in with you? Because, like, the way I had to go through, like, a process of telling them directly as me, yes, I accept.
I mean, I'm just thinking about the fact that it took like 3 business days to get the money cleared across the border to pay my tuition in the days of digital banking. The mere prospect of my parents having to mail me a check several weeks out to pay my tuition, death, hell and death.
No, but
God. I'm honestly more surprised that they didn't try to run with something a la, and I can't believe I'm gonna cite this movie of all movies, Geek Charming, where the idea, have you guys not seen Geek Charming? Don't, it's bad. Nope, no. Don't, it's bad. But the whole
does it count for the podcast?
Yes, because it's both a Pygmalion and a Cinderella.
Strap in, folks!
Oh boy, here we go!
It's a choice. Yeah, that movie's weird. Anyway, It's also a book. The book is slightly better. But anyway, there's a subplot in that movie where, like, the reason that the vapid, fashion-obsessed teenage girl is the way she is because she's trying to emulate her mother, who was also a, prom queen and, like, a beauty, like, this school's equivalent of a prom queen, and it's because her mother is now dead, she is trying to feel some level of connected to her, and this is the way that she can hopefully do it. Dylan is a very complex character. She's given a lot more complexity in the book, but she's also very good in the movie. One of Sarah Hyland's best performances. But I have a list. Jazz has seen it, but I have a list of actors I need a rom-com. Not because I personally am attracted to all of them, but because I need them to prove they can do it. Because...
But River, now you gotta say, who's on the list?
No, Callie, we've been going at this for 2 hours.
I will do it after recording. I will mention it after recording.
Honestly, send it to Callie. Callie will enjoy it. But anyway.
But
yeah, nothing.
Take all of my pain, tripling.
Go ahead, Jazz.
Ask the question.
Ask it.
It's
I
10
know you
p.m.
want
We've
to.
been recording too long. Moonlighting syndrome with my beloved and beloathed.
Sam ran away.
Sam ran away because I don't want to admit it, but that's also smart. I also don't want to admit it, but like, yeah, the only reason it isn't is because they can't figure out a way to boost its budget.
Do you have enough Heath Ledger for a Heath Ledger month? I don't think you do, Heath Ledger.
There isn't, no, I don't think you do.
Sadly, no.
Well, no, maybe. Can you get Knight's Tale, this, Batman, Dark Knight, and I don't want to say Dr. Parnassus, but so there's probably one I'm missing, because Dr. Parnassus I don't think works because it breaks your Johnny Depp and Jared Leto rule.
I mean, Casanova could kind of count.
Are we talking about for me or for you, Sam?
Yeah, I think for Sam.
Oh, no, I was talking about for Jazz.
Oh, there's not enough for Jazz.
Oh, but there's also the Brothers Grimm.
True.
Oh god, we're all sad now.
Oh god. There is somewhere there is a timeline where Heath Ledger and River Phoenix got to grow up. I'm a little mad that I'm not in that timeline.
Wake up.
Sorry. I don't have the river problem with Heath Ledger, but I think I might.
To Alana's point earlier in the podcast, rest in peace, they're not dead, they just had to leave.
The license plate thing, it's like it operates on like Toy Story 2 rules, where you find the guy's license plate and then you find out everything else about him.
Mm-hmm. This takes place in the same universe as Toy Story 2.
That's right, ours.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sure.
The real world.
Talked about Toy Story twice on this
Wild
year's holiday episodes.
Wild.
I talk about Toy Story once every episode of everything.
So
It's
true.
As is right and proper.
Ella and I keep promising we're going to write sequels to the things we watch on podcasts. We watched an absolutely awful episode of Pinky and the Brain on the Pointcast.
No. We watched an episode of Pinky and the Brain all in.
Yeah, we watched an episode of Pinky and the Brain on the Pointcast.
Wait, should we wrap up?
We should be wrapping up because Ella, you gotta go, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so final thoughts, I guess.
How are you gonna cut this together?
We'll figure it out, and I will put my stuff at the end. And that's more than enough for an outtake special, I think. And so for our call to action is actually related to our next episode. Coming up next, we will be discussing the World's Elsewhere Theater Company's upcoming production of Pygmalion, which I happen to be in. And as for the call to action, obviously we are aware that there are other things that you may want to help with, what you have room in your hearts and wallets for, but this theater company does indeed mean a lot to us, and unfortunately, if we don't make a decent amount of money and donations from this production, it will be our last play. Although there is another Musica Universalis on the way as well, but that'll basically be it unless we make a decent amount of money. So any little bit helps. We do recommend a donation of $20. Please check the show notes for more details. And of course, as always, we would love you to support the show through our Patreon, the Ko-Fi, or the support the show link below. And you can find me on all the socials at Faye Riviera. And that's all for this week. We'll see you next time when we'll be able to talk more about Witsy's Pygmalion. And remember, stories gain power in each retelling.